What is up, Joe and Will? Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. First, I just want to say congratulations because you guys are headed into the March Madness tournament for the second time in program history. What does that feel like for your team?
And it's a dream come true. It's something we've been praying about since I know I've been praying about it since I started playing basketball. You always get the March and you're a kid and you're sitting around the TV with your family watching the games and you just dream to be in it one day. So to see that actually come true and to see what it means for our program, it's just it's a blessing for sure.
Oh yeah, I repeat what Joe said, but I think something that's cool is me and Joe actually made it to, I'm from Nashville originally, grew up in Mount Juliet. Joe's from Maryville. And so we both made it to the state tournament our senior year of high school, and it ended up getting canceled. And so we didn't get to play in that. We cut down nets and everything because we both finished, our seasons at home. It got canceled. He goes to Furman, I go to Lipscomb, and now here 5 years later, we're playing on the same team. So I think it's almost like it was already written for this to happen. So it's been a blessing. We also have 3 other fifth years on the team, I think it is. So
good senior leadership.
Yes, come on. So it's a pretty cool way to go out. Probably the best way to go out. So
that is such a cool story. I love that. And right, like you could not be ending your careers at Lipscomb on a cooler note and a more exciting time for not only just your team, but your school. And I love how you said that, like you both, cut the nets down in your senior year. You couldn't, really finish out that tournament. And it's funny you say that because my senior year I missed my whole lacrosse season. I didn't even get to go to the
Wow.
I didn't even get the opportunity. But I remember, thinking, Lord, like, why did you do that? Like nothing good has come from this. Like I'm just losing out this time where I could get better for college, like truthfully. But then, years down the line, I saw, oh, you know what? I would so rather have these highs in college than that, one win in high school. So I love that.
For sure.
Well, I'd love to know, and Joe, I'll start with you. What quality about this Lipscomb basketball team would you attribute your guys' success to?
That's a good question. What quality? I don't know if it's a quality, just like our togetherness. Like everything we do, we're together, whether it's on the court or off the court. We're always coming to each other if we need help with something. I know the other day I was in my living room and the whole team's out there and I'm asking them a question about my life. We're always there for each other, and it's a great feeling to know you can go to your guys with anything, and then you go out there on the court and it's you're already battle tested and you've been through a lot together, so you trust each other, you have faith in each other. I tell my sister all the time, the 2 best things that helped me with my faith journey is having accountability and vulnerability. And I think that's 2 things that we definitely have here in our Lipscomb culture as a team. And I know it's something I'm very grateful for. And that's why I try to push all my friends to go to Lipscomb, because it helped change my life. And I want it to change other people's life too.
And Will, for you, what do you think the most important quality of this Lipscomb basketball team is that has allowed you guys to have success?
Definitely togetherness. Another word I would use is just the unselfish culture we have. Guys don't really care who gets the credit, and, you obviously can't play everybody on the team. And so, what an unbelievable whole roster we have cheering for the guys that are playing. They do not have to do that, and they do it day in and day out. And then also the togetherness, just being off the court, the unity of the team has been awesome.
That's so great to hear. And Joe, you just mentioned also the togetherness and how the role that faith has played on this team. But what does that actually look like? Because you are at a Christian university, and it might just look a little different when you are able to have more of the Lord's presence within your team. So what does that look like maybe on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis?
Yeah, so we're very blessed. We actually have a Bible study every Sunday night, and it's our basketball team, Vanderbilt's basketball team, Belmont's basketball team, Trevecca's right down the street. And that's all it is, right, Will?
That's everybody.
And, it's great. We meet together every Sunday night. And Taylor Barnett is actually the guy who is in charge of it. He used to play at Virginia, then he played at Belmont, and then he coached for a little while. But, man, it's just great. We get to talk to each other. And, it's funny. A lot of us go through the same things. And it's, I talked about being vulnerable, but, I think sometimes it's easy to hold things inside and think you're going through it alone. But we get in this setting where we're all going through the same thing, and we can talk about it, and it's crazy, like something I'm going through, someone right across the table from me is going through the same thing. And just, to be able to talk about that and to be able to go through it together, it's awesome. And just the power of prayer, like at the end of every Sunday night, we pray with someone else from a different team and get to hear what someone's going through, and just to know someone's praying for you out there. It just makes it takes a lot of the pressure away, I feel.
Yeah, that is so cool just to do community with other basketball players in Nashville. Like, come on,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. I hope there's no like secret recruiting going on though between guys like Worcester and say, hey, come to my team, all the things. But Will, I'd love to know from your perspective, what's one of your favorite parts of meeting with that group?
Yeah. Like Joe said, just the prayer at the end. And also it's been cool to see we have some of those guys actually come to our games. And so the relationships, not only being at the Bible study, but going outside of the Bible study. We've been doing this for 3 years now. And at first everybody was a little hesitant. Us guys, Lipscomb would go, we actually met at Belmont first. And so we all didn't know each other. And over the years, we've gotten to know each other. And, it's really been cool to see the accountability, the relationships being built in between the teams.
Well, I definitely can tell. There definitely be a little bit of, oh, well, we're the team in Nashville. We're, a little bit of that maybe to start. But it's really cool that you guys have been doing that for a while now. That's impressive, 3 years. And just the relationships, I can imagine, are so strong. But I would love to just congratulate you on your conference championship and how exciting that was. So awesome. But Joe, you posted a photo and your caption was a God of second chances. And this was on your championship post. Usually people are like, yeah, look at me, when they win a championship. And so why did you caption this photo from your championship, a God of second chances?
Yeah. Our coach was telling us working up to it. He was like, we were here last year playing against North Alabama, and I think the semifinals or the quarterfinals, and we lost in a buzzer beater. And he was just telling us how, like a lot of times we may mess up in our life, but we do serve a God who forgives us, and he gives us second chances. I know for me, I came from a situation in Furman where I didn't really play much, and to be vulnerable, I wasn't making the best decisions, but I was praying for a life change, and God led me to Lipscomb. And it's funny, I was talking to my girlfriend about it the other day, but I was praying for more playing time, and like I was asking for playing time, like something that means so little, in the kingdom. And it's crazy how God over delivers. Like we always talk about that on our team, but I was praying for playing time, and God changed my life, and he forgave me. It reminds me of the story of the woman who's bleeding for 40 years, and then she touches God's robe, Jesus's robe, and she's healed. But then Jesus tells her she's forgiven. Jesus he does way more than we ask. And so I was just trying to let people know, we have a God who gives us second chances, and he answers more than we can ask for.
That's so awesome. I love just everything, like the biblical side that you just touched on, and then your personal story with it, because it is so cool. And I think, transferring is daunting, and it can seem like this really exciting, fun thing, but it's really stressful and hard, and you're walking to the unknown. And it's just cool to see how Lipscomb as a school and as a university has really impacted you, and the Lord's work through that. But Will, you've been here since your freshman year. You've been a huge part of this team, just as a leader on the court and off the court. What has the Lord taught you about just life and basketball throughout your years at Lipscomb?
I've been here for a year too long, but I guess it was my freshman year. We have a spiritual formation director. His name's Chris Klotz, and we call him Klotzy. And he's an incredible guy. He pours into everybody. Dudes come in, and he has no clue who they are, and he's yelling their name across the gym. He's very energetic. But I remember him my freshman year. I went through a whirlwind with COVID. I think I missed like the first 10 or 15 games due to quarantine. And I remember him just sitting down with me and talking to me. I was telling him kind of what I was going through. I'm struggling with finding my identity in basketball. And he told me basketball is not who you are, but what you get to do. And I will never forget that. And Taylor Barnett, the guy that leads our Bible study all the time, says that basketball makes a great game, but a terrible God. And so just throughout my time here, I feel like I've lived into that more and more. Whereas, basketball is not my God, but it's something to proclaim the good news of Jesus and expand the kingdom.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that you got to hear that and someone speak that over you your freshman year, right? Because it's really tough if you were learning that your senior year. And then, you face the highs and lows and you've been through all of them, right? Like there were years when you're not going to the March Madness tournament. And I'm sure that has its own weight with it. But I would love to give Joe an opportunity just to shout you out because, Will, you've been nominated for a finalist for the Nolan Richardson Award. And I'm going to read the description. It's given to the Division I player who is the heart and soul of the team and a leader on and off the court. So, Joe, why is Will nominated for this award?
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, this man Will has helped change my life. Like, as soon as I came here as a transfer, it could have been easy for Will. Will's the man on campus. Like everyone knows Will's the man on campus, and I'm coming in trying to be a starter. Will didn't have to be nice to me at all, but he accepted me and he tried to help me every day, and he just made an effort to come into my life every day. And how you see Will act around campus, like he makes it a purpose to enter everyone's life, and he's just got such humility, man. They say pride come before the fall, but Will is the exact opposite of that. Like he could have a 20-point night, 3 20-point games in a row, and he's still in the gym rebounding for someone or helping someone out. And on the court, he's the guy we go to whenever we need. Coach calls it a tourniquet. Someone who can.
Hey, careful! We're in season. We're still playing.
Yeah,
you can't give away the secrets.
You're right. But
don't say whenever we need this.
Will is our guy we go to when we need a big play. And, it's no secret. Everyone knows it, and they still can't stop him. But he's a great leader on the court, but an even better leader off the court. I mean, we definitely looked at him, and he's like he's the old man on the team, but he's got a lot of wisdom, and man, I love him. He's helped me a ton.
Well, Will, just for you, what has it been like to be a part of a team where you can have like a brotherhood with your teammates on a friendship level and on the court, but then also be spiritual, friends and companions throughout the ups and downs of the season?
Yeah, first, don't let Joe fool you. He said I'm the old man. He's 23 too, so he's old as well. But to say something real quick about Joe, obviously his game speaks for itself. He has impacted the minute he's got on campus. He's impacted our team on the court. I think he was top 5 or something in assist to turnover ratio last year, which is incredible. He hit some huge shots in the tournament, was obviously tournament MVP. But even more than that, we actually go to church together at a place called Legacy. And this past Sunday, they were talking about breakthrough. And not only breakthrough, but being an instrument for breakthrough. And it talked about Mark 5. This man, demon-possessed man, gets healed. And he's begging to go with Jesus. Jesus is leaving. He's begging to go with Jesus. And Jesus tells him to stay and proclaim what I just did for you. And so the man goes back to Decapolis, which is a region that is filled with pagans and idol worship. So he goes back and he proclaims all these things that Jesus has done for him. And when Jesus returns in Mark 7, they're begging Jesus to come. And in Mark 5, they're pleading with him to leave. And so this man that was demon-possessed gets healed and then proclaims all these things. And all these people are coming to Jesus begging him. And so all these people are going to hear the good news. And I think Joe, the minute he's been on campus, has been this. In Bible study this year, he got to share his testimony, which is incredible. And immediately after, this is not what it's about, but people were reaching out to Joe, talking about some things that Joe had struggled with, that they were struggling with too. And so that was so cool to see that guys are wanting to get better and, improve in their spiritual walk. So, Joe has been very impactful in my life as well. And obviously the team, I could go down player by player and, give a reason for why they've impacted my life, but it's so cool to be a part of a culture that's just so unselfish and willing to talk about, what they're going through. It's just more than basketball.
So awesome. I absolutely love to hear that because Joe probably wouldn't have said that himself. So Will, thank you for shouting him out in that way. But it probably goes beyond just the players, right? And the athletes that are at Lipscomb, the coaching staff as well. So for you, and Joe, I'll start with you. What has it been like to be a part of a team led by a coaching staff who are believers?
Yeah. I mean, all of them, Coach Acuff, Coach Murray, Coach Martin, Coach Eastrom, even Peyton Manningly, like everyone on staff, the supporting staff, JT, our strength trainer. I saw on JT's hand the other day, he doesn't even know I saw it. He has Colossians 3:23 written on it, like I work as hard as I can in everything I do for God, not for people on this earth. Will Ness, I mean, it's just, we've got so many people around the program who show what it looks like to be a good follower of Christ and how to keep him as the main priority in our life through valleys or through publicity or whatever it may be, to keep your priorities the main thing. And then to talk about our AD, Philip Hutchinson, a little bit. I know during the March Madness Selection Sunday, everyone is so excited about who we're going to play. And to end the ceremony, he actually said, like, I forgot his words exactly, but basically he was saying, we pray for this platform and we're given this platform, but, we just want to continue to do this for Christ and give him the glory. And he actually said a prayer over everyone and in front of CBS, in front of the ESPN. And it's so cool to see the leaders of a program doing it the right way and, giving glory where it needs to be given. And I mean, Coach Acuff is just the definition of a servant leader. To times me and Will get frustrated because we want to brag about him or we want to give him the credit for a win, and he won't accept it. And he'll even get mad at us if we're praising him too much. But, it's just, it's awesome. I know it's helped change my life, and it's really cool to see how it affects others around them. And it's just such a blessing.
That's so cool. And for Will, just being a part of that environment at Lipscomb with the believers in the locker room, outside of the locker room, it's still super fun, right? As much as it's like serious and we're talking about that, like it's still super fun. I saw that conference championship game. Those fans were going crazy. So what is it like just playing in front of your home fans?
It's a blessing. And obviously being 30 minutes down the road, I can go home if I want and don't have to go home as well. Which my parents would get mad at me sometimes because I don't really come home much, but obviously it's a blessing. It's an opportunity for people that I grew up with to get to come to the games, and same for Joe being only a couple hours away. People get to come to the games and watch him play. But I mean, our fans were huge this tournament, and the way that ASUN does it is the higher seed gets home court advantage. And so we were actually the 1 seed and got to host every game we played. We were in the semifinals against Queens, and we were down by 10 with like 7 minutes to go. Came out of a media timeout, and the media timeouts, for some reason, it feels like in the tournament, they're a little longer than the regular season. But we were just sitting there on the court waiting for them, to blow the whistle for us to play. And all our fans just rose to their feet in a time where they didn't have to cheer for us because we're down 10, and they just started erupting, and we ended up going on a run and ended up going into OT and winning in OT. And so to do that with them, and then obviously the championship game, all of them coming back out and supporting us. And Coach Acuff actually told this story the other day at the selection show to everybody. Our baseball team was in Florida, and they had a game. It ended up getting canceled. That day they were supposed to fly out. Sunday they were supposed to fly out that night so they wouldn't be back for our game, but they drove. I think it was like left at 5 a.m., drove back and got to our game on time, and were a huge support to us. So shout out to Lipscomb baseball for that, and Coach Forehand. But Lipscomb truly is just a special place, and like Joe talked about, it really starts at the top with the athletic director and even the president. So.
Wow, that is so cool. And shout out to your fan zone, number one, for getting you guys hype and getting to, close that lead in that game, but also just the baseball team for making that trek. I absolutely love that. When I played lacrosse at BC, we had our baseball team. There were sometimes we would overlap in like North Carolina. We always were in North Carolina together. And when we would see them in the stands, it would just add like more noise, like literally, like there are a lot of little girls in the stands, but like having like a male like scream is just deeper and louder, and so it would actually help us on the field. So it's so cool when you get to see other teams within your athletic department supporting you, and I absolutely love that. But I would love to know, and Joe, this will be a question for you, is there a phrase or something that you guys have really leaned on as a team this season?
That's a good question. A phrase we really lean on. There's a couple our coaches say all the time. I'm trying to think of a good one. Our coaches say a lot, urgent joy, urgent discipline joy. And I think that's a huge thing, especially in big moments. You know, you got to be urgent, you got to be disciplined, but I think joy is a big part of it too. You know, it's a gift to be out there. In all these big wins, you see us smiling, and I think it's evident why we're winning, but you know, showing the joy, showing the gratitude while we're out there. I don't know, Will, I think I'm forgetting one. Like, I got to be forgetting something.
I don't know. Our coach had a huge birthday this year, and so he has a lot of one-liners, and we actually made a video for him. We all got a chance to kind of mimic him and, not make fun of him, but, you know, act like we're him for a little bit. So
Impersonate.
that was cool. Impersonate. That's the word. I was looking for the word. What's the word? It's definitely not making fun, but, that was cool. But the phrase that comes to mind is enum. It's not about me. I feel like it hasn't been a big saying this year, but in my 5 years, that keeps coming up. And I feel like that is this team to a T.
That's cool. And it definitely is reflected in your play. And when you're talking about urgent joy, right? Like, you have joy when you're not thinking all about yourself. And that's enum, right? I love that. I'm going to start using that. It's not about me. I like that. That's so cool. Well, when people get to watch Lipscomb basketball in the March Madness tournament, they can see you on TV and they can scroll on Instagram and, you know, check your team out. But what's something that people don't know about this team that they can't find out from just watching you guys?
Go ahead, Joe. You've gone first all the time. You take it.
Yeah, you know, they'll probably hear a lot about we're an old team and a lot of age and maturity. Man, it's awesome. I don't want to leave. I know I'm almost done with college, but it's like I get to be a little kid again when I'm with all the guys. We're out there joking around the whole time, and you know, it really is. You know, I think Duke is the brotherhood, but it really does feel like a brotherhood here. Like, these guys are more than my teammates. Like, these guys will all be in my wedding. Like, these guys are going to be my best friends for my life, and it's just such a blessing, and it's fun. It's fun being out there playing with your brothers, and I know it's fun to watch a team that's really connected. So I would just say, you know, I don't know. What do you got?
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's what I would say as well. That was good, Joe.
I'm so excited to watch you guys, but I'd love to know what you guys are most excited for. When do you hit the road for the tournament?
I'm excited for we actually leave tomorrow. I'm excited for the plane flight. This is my first time going to the dance. I know Joe's already gone, and he says the plane flight's pretty cool. And I heard we're going to have some guys that have supported us kind of all year on the plane flight as well. So that's what I'm excited for.
I heard our game was in Orlando at the Magic Arena, and I was hurt during the time, so unfortunately I didn't get to go out there and play, but just getting to see the atmosphere and just the amount of people there watching, and you could just feel the energy in the room as soon as you go out there. So I'm just excited to get on that court and start playing again. I can't wait.
Well, good. You better bring Will with you. He might still be on the plane because he's super excited about the plane flight. But I love that, you guys. This was seriously like a joy to talk to you, and it's very evident the impact that Lipscomb has had on you guys spiritually and just as spiritual leaders on the team. Like, I'm now more excited to watch Lipscomb basketball and cheer you guys on, so I hope other people are as well. And we're just cheering you on. You play Iowa State and Milwaukee, right, in Wisconsin, so that'll be exciting. But thank you seriously for coming on Sports Spectrum. I know you are literally in like the most exciting and stressful and intense time of your season, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.